Welcome to Trucker Reacts, back with another video. I don't know if you heard it yet or if you heard it by now, but the Federation of Professional Truckers has applied for a exemption from the e-logs, ELDs. We're going to cover that story. First, here is the from the FMCSA, as you see here on the screen, Electronic Logging Device Requirements, Federation of Professional Truckers. Application for exemption. Action. Notice of application for exemption. Requests for comments. FMCSA requests public comment on a Federation of Professional Truckers application for an exemption from the electric logging device requirements. Federation of Professional Truckers requests an exemption to allow professional drivers the option to record their records of duty status manually instead of using an ELD. Imagine that. All these years, or this few years, how long it's been with the EODs. It's supposed to save everything, make everything a lot safer. Apparently, it didn't work, or it's not working, and people are wanting to go back to paper logs, which might be a possibility. I don't know. I'm going to cover this other story I found on CDOLife.com, and there's some comments on there I want to go over. And some of the comments are crazy. Hundreds of commenters weigh in on FMCSA exemption asked to allow truckers to use paper logs instead of ELDs. Hundreds of people comment on the exemption request under consideration by the FMCSA that would allow professional truck drivers to use paper logs to manually enter their records of duty status. On February 9th, 2026, what was that, last week? FMCSA published an exemption request from the Federation of Professional Truckers issued on behalf of group members and any other professional driver choosing to participate. The FOPT asked FMCSA for relief from electronic logging device regulations to allow drivers to record their record of duty status manually with a paper logbook rather than with an ELD. The FOPT asked for the exemption due to the cost burden that ELDs place on smaller carriers. The group also said that technical limitations and frequent malfunctions highlight the continuing necessity of paper alternatives. What are the truckers saying? Since the comment period opened on February 9th, 325 individuals and organizations have left formal comments for FMCSA, arguing either for or against the requested ELD regulatory relief. The comment period ends March 11th, 2026. You can follow this link to leave your comment online. So go leave your comment, either pro, con, for or against, whatever. Here's what some of the comments. Let's go over some of these. This is a horrible idea. As a truck driver of 33 years, this will be abused by both drivers and companies. Any system is going to be abused. The ELD system has been abused. The paper logs before the ELDs came out was abused. So no matter what system they put in there, it's going to be abused in some shape or form. The opportunity for a falsification will lead to overwhelming violation of our service rules and is inherently unsafe. What do you think? That's a fairly new driver? Here's another comment. I see how paper would be less stress on a driver and could possibly aid in fewer accidents involving big trucks. Tired of having to wait for an ELD to click over the minute to move myself from the drive line, but it's instantaneous to putting me on the drive line. My opinion is that stealing time from the driver, having the choice will also help small companies save money. Now, I remember sitting around the truck stop, especially in the morning, and it's what we used to call the e-log crawl. Now, most trucks had their companies had their e-log set up where if you do under 5 miles an hour, it wouldn't click over the drive time. So you see trucks trying to get out of the exit, start their day, and they'd be creeping across the parking lot. And you get behind one of those doing the e-log crawl, and you be cussing every name in the book on the CB radio. The e-log crawl. Ah, yes, I've done the e-log crawl a few times in my career, so can't really knock it. Driver shortage and drivers leaving the industry spiked when EOD was brought into effect. Trucking wasn't a job, it was a lifestyle. There you go. So many of men and women didn't want an electronic on board telling them they couldn't nap. That's the part I never agreed with because the night before they were sick or just couldn't get the needed rest. Being forced to drive when the timer started, there was no stopping. Well, you didn't have to start the timer. You don't have to start the timer. Still had to enter, you know, on duty driving or whatever, or it clicks over on its own. Nobody's forcing you to drive. That was the thing about the e-logs. They first started coming out, all the myths and the lies that they were trying to use to not get the e-logs in the trucks was I'm not having an e-log tell me what to do, or I'm not having the government tell me when I can sleep and when I can't, when I'm tired, when I'm not. It's all still up to you. That didn't change. The paper logs to the e-logs, you still had to make that decision. Paper logs should be optional, and small independents such as myself should have the choice to do either. Hopefully, this can make trucking great again. For myself and millions of fellow truckers, thank you. 29 years on the road, the experience of they are the most lots. They save time. They take a 30 minutes. I've ever done that before. Maybe there are people who run out of hours 20 when you're asked forgiveness later. The old saying. My other question is why is this mandatory? It has not been for safety. We witness that daily. Why can't it be a choice? I own my own truck. I pay for it. It's mine as well as all the responsibility that comes with it. The industry is so very much overregulated and very much underpaid. Insurance is crazy prices, fuels, tires, equipment. Actually, it never ends. The amount of overhead is overwhelming, and paying for EOD is just one more expense. Like I said, my personal opinion, 29 years is EOD should be a choice, not a mandate. I agree with that there. And there are many other topics that need addressed in the industry. Thank you for your time. God bless America. I was for EODs, but I wasn't. The part I didn't like was the mandatory part. I don't think this should have been made mandatory. If the company wants to run e-logs, that's their decision. If they don't want to run e-logs, they want to go on paper logs. Have the drivers run paper logs. That should have been their decision. The mandatory BS is what got under my skin. And yeah, there's a bunch of more on here. Let's go. Let's get this short one. As a safety director, I have been around since the paper log days, and given the chance to cheat or fudge even a little bit, and it will happen. Yes, paper makes it easier to happen. Electronic logs make the playing field more even among carriers and owner operators. And this does not make you go broke. Blame that on the cheap brokers. There you go. But even playing field, excuse me, I got something in my throat there. Even playing field, come on. It's America. Capitalism. Should there ever be an even playing field? I don't know. So I saw the comments there on CDLLife.com. Go check out the article. I'm gonna go back over here and check out the. I didn't shrink myself. We're gonna check out the comments from over here on this. Let's see, where was it? Comment now on regulars. Can we read comments or can we? Let's see. Can we make a comment? There we go. Write a comment. I want to see the other comments. I just want to see the comments. Let's see. Email, drop, yeah. Maybe not. Comment, register, comment, document. I guess not. I guess not. Go back over here. Let's look up the Federation of Professional Truckers. Let me do this the right way. Let's see. I think I screwed that up. Let's see. Go back over here to Federation. Check out what the Federation of Professional Truckers is all about. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Maybe once or twice. I didn't know they were really a thing, but I guess they are. Here's their homepage. Reengineering the trucking industry for the better. Join us in advocating for truckers. They do trucking stuff. A nice truck there. It's a flatbed. They got the trucking news. Coordinates the trucking, a bunch of trucking news and stuff. Upcoming events. They're going to be at Matt's 2026, Louisville, Kentucky. I guess I don't know. That's for Matt's. Here's their mission statement. The Federation of Professional Truckers exists to restore professionalism, accountability, and fairness to the trucking industry. We advocate for the recognition of trucking as a skilled trade and represent drivers, owner operators, and carriers who operate under real regulatory and financial pressure every day. While others argue online, we focus on structural solutions that improve safety, sustainability, and economic stability across the industry. Our work centers on enforcing existing broker regulations, monitoring practices that distort the market and harm compliant carriers. We believe rules should apply evenly, not selectively, and that compliance should not be used as a weapon against the people doing the work. Through research, formal petitions, and direct engagement with regulators, we pursue practical reforms grounded in real world operations, not theory. Our goal is a trucking industry built on transparency, equal enforcement, and respect for the skilled professionals that anybody in here comment uh, uh, a member of the POFT advocating. We're not going to log in to connect with members. I don't want to log in. All right, here's a Michael Cupcake Cobb, CEO, and Matt Northman Kilmer, president of the FOPT. There's our emails and everything. We'll get hold of them. So praise. There we go. Excuse me. Man, that one came out of nowhere. Couldn't stop it. So what y'all think about this? You're gonna go back to paper logbooks? Now I know the companies abusing that, forcing the driver to say, "Well, you can do this and do that." Get you to the logbook, start over again. Don't start logging until you get to a certain point. Stuff like that. Back up your logs. Instead of doing it, just do at 600 miles divided by 60 miles an hour is how many hours? Just put that down as your drive time. Yeah. See, I don't know about that stuff. I still remember doing the e-log thing back in the day. Not the e-log thing, but the paper log thing. I was, I kind of like when the e-logs first came out. You didn't have to worry about where am I at? Where I'm going to go off duty? Where am I at? You had to look up where you were at exactly, what town or something. If you didn't know right off, you had to look it up. Now, I know where I am, but as far as a town or a city, I don't have any clues. Crazy stuff. So let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about this situation. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So